in South Padre Island, Texas. Newly released body camera footage has contradicted the official account of a fatal shooting involving Ruben Ray Martinez, a 23-year-old United States citizen, and an ICE agent. The incident occurred on March 15, 2025, during a routine traffic stop. According to ICE, Martinez intentionally hit an agent with his vehicle before being shot. However, the new footage shows Martinez's car barely moving when he was shot, challenging ICE's narrative. The footage reveals that Martinez was pulled over by ICE agents near a road accident scene where they were directing traffic. As law enforcement tried to stop him, Martinez's vehicle was seen advancing slowly towards an intersection. Gunshots were then heard as Martinez's car pulled forward slightly. Legal experts and Martinez's family argue that the footage shows ICE's account to be misleading. Alcohol and marijuana were found in Martinez's system following the incident, complicating the narrative around the circumstances of the shooting. A Texas grand jury declined to indict the ICE agent involved, raising further questions about the official response to the case. This case is part of a series of fatal shootings involving United States citizens by federal immigration agents during the Trump administration's second term. This has sparked debates over the use of lethal force by federal law enforcement. As more evidence comes to light, legal and procedural inquiries into this shooting continue to unfold. This reflects ongoing public scrutiny of the incident. In a Pentagon briefing on Wednesday, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth accused the American press of focusing excessively on U.S. casualties in the ongoing Iran war. This suggests the coverage aims to undermine the president. White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt countered by defending the press, arguing that critics often misinterpret statements to make the administration look unfavorable. During the briefing, Hegseth emphasized that the media's emphasis on casualties is part of a broader trend of attempting to paint the administration in a negative light. Leavitt echoed the sentiment, stating that critics tend to twist every administration comment to suit their narrative. The tension between the government and media over casualty reporting is not new. It has been a recurring issue throughout various wars, reflecting a deep-seated conflict over the control of war-related messaging. Experts argue that the nature of war coverage has evolved significantly, with access and restrictions varying greatly from conflict to conflict. For instance, during the Gulf War, the Pentagon imposed a ban on showing images of U.S. military casualties to protect family privacy. Critics believed it was to avoid negative public perception. This historical context underscores the ongoing debate about the balance between transparency and control in wartime reporting. The situation remains a point of contention, with both sides maintaining their stances on casualty coverage as the war in Iran continues. The interplay between government and media over the portrayal of casualties is expected to remain a focal point of public discussion and scrutiny. Today at the White House, Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt addressed President Trump's call for Iran's unconditional surrender. Offering clarification during a Friday press briefing, Leavitt stated that the president will determine when Iran no longer poses a threat to the United States. This marks the moment as Iran's unconditional surrender. During the briefing, Leavitt specified that the criteria for Iran's unconditional surrender would be based on the president's assessment of the situation. This means that once Trump decides the mission's goals have been fully realized and Iran is no longer a security threat, Iran will effectively be in a state of unconditional surrender, regardless of Iran's own statements or actions. Leavitt also noted that there were no updates to provide regarding the Pentagon's investigation into a recent U.S. military strike on an Iranian girls' school. She directed any inquiries about the investigation to the Pentagon. The White House's clarification leaves the specifics of Iran's unconditional surrender ambiguous, relying on the president's judgment to define the terms. Kurdish groups in northern Iraq are preparing for a potential military operation against Iran, with discussions held between U.S. President Donald Trump and Kurdish officials this past Sunday. The Kurdish groups, who have long-standing grievances against Iranian authorities, are now forming a coalition dedicated to overthrowing the Islamic Republic of Iran. This development comes as Israel and the U.S. continue to strike Iranian targets, raising concerns about further escalation in the region. The involvement of armed Kurds could challenge Iranian defenses but also risks drawing Iraq further into the conflict, given that some of these groups have bases there. Kurdish officials emphasize the need for caution. Iraqi Kurdish political parties, wary of expanding the war and tensions in the region, have stated that they do not want attacks to be launched from their territory. Meanwhile, Turkey, a key and a wide-toe member, has voiced opposition to Western weapons transfers to Kurdish guerrillas, citing security concerns. The situation remains tense, with both Kurdish groups and regional powers weighing the potential benefits and risks of military intervention. As discussions continue, the exact plans and timing of any cross-border operations remain unclear. The United States is deploying an advanced anti-drone system called Merops to the Middle East to counter Iranian drone threats. The move follows the system's success in Ukraine against Russian drones. Merops, manufactured by Perennial Autonomy, is designed to identify and neutralize drones even in jammed communication environments. It has been praised for its cost-effectiveness, as it can detect and take down drones at a fraction of the cost of traditional missile defense systems. The system's deployment in Ukraine and NATO countries has demonstrated its effectiveness against drone threats. U.S. defense officials see this as a strategic step to enhance regional security and deter potential Iranian retaliatory actions. The decision comes as the U.S. faces challenges in defending against low-cost Iranian drones that are difficult to detect using traditional missile defense systems. The deployment of Merops to various locations in the Middle East, including areas with U.S. forces, is expected to bolster defenses and provide a more effective and affordable solution to the growing drone threat. In a dramatic escalation, President Donald Trump has called for Iran's unconditional surrender less than a week into the ongoing conflict between the United States and Israel against Iran. The conflict has also intensified in Lebanon, with significant civilian casualties and displacement. The fighting has seen more than 1,300 people killed by American and Israeli airstrikes, according to the Iranian Red Crescent. Strikes have forced over 400,000 people to evacuate from southern Lebanon and Beirut. Israel has accused Hezbollah and Iran of being one entity, a claim that is disputed by other sources. Meanwhile, the war has spread to Gulf states, where missile defense systems are running low due to the constant threat of Iranian missile attacks. This development has put civilians in Lebanon and Iran at heightened risk, with infrastructure and homes severely damaged. The situation remains tense, with no immediate resolution in sight. Officials continue to assess the next steps, as the conflict shows no signs of abating. Two U.S. officials report that Russia is providing real-time intelligence to Iran. This includes satellite data on American troop movements in the region. This development comes as tensions escalate between the U.S., Iran, and Russia. The intelligence sharing, which began over the weekend, includes tracking of U.S. ships and aircraft as they move into the region. This raises concerns that Iran could use this information to target mobile military assets. U.S. officials claim that despite this intelligence support, ongoing military operations are effectively neutralizing Iran's military capabilities. This includes a significant reduction in missile and drone strikes against U.S. and allied targets. Former senior intelligence and military officials have noted that while Iran already has access to commercial satellite data and can surveil U.S. bases and embassies, the real-time sharing of intelligence is a significant escalation. However, the officials also point out that Iran's ability to attack moving targets like ships and aircraft is enhanced by this information. The White House maintains that their military operations remain focused on protecting U.S. forces and allies, that the impact of Russia's intelligence sharing is being mitigated by their actions on the ground and in the air. The situation is still developing, and the long-term implications for regional stability will continue to be closely monitored. The Department of Justice has released new documents from the Epstein files containing FBI interview notes of a woman who alleges she was sexually assaulted by President Trump when she was a minor. The documents were initially considered duplicative, but have now been published. This raises further questions about the investigation into Jeffrey Epstein's associates and their alleged involvement in sexual misconduct. The accuser claims she was assaulted by Trump in the 1980s and asserts she was also a victim of Epstein's misconduct. During FBI interviews, she mentioned 2 additional interactions with Trump beyond the alleged assault. The credibility of the accuser has been assessed by DOJ officials, who reportedly found her to be credible. However, the White House has dismissed the allegations, citing the accuser's criminal history as a basis for doubt. Independent reporting suggests that additional files remain unreleased, which could provide more context to the ongoing investigation. The release of these documents comes amid a larger pattern of revelations about Epstein's network and its connections to high-profile individuals. The credibility of the accuser and the thoroughness of the investigation are now key points of focus as the story continues to develop. The situation remains under review, with members of Congress and independent journalists pressing for the release of all remaining documents related to the case. Script. Former President Barack Obama honored the late Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr. at a memorial service in Chicago, urging Americans to carry forward Jackson's legacy of hope and change. Obama, along with former Presidents Joe Biden and Bill Clinton, paid tribute to Jackson's significant impact on civil rights and political leadership. Jackson, a prominent civil rights leader and presidential candidate in the 1980s, was celebrated for his role in paving the way for the election of Barack Obama as the first black president in 2009. Obama highlighted Jackson's influence on the rise of black political leaders and emphasized the importance of unity and perseverance in the face of current challenges to democratic institutions. In his speech, Obama called on Americans to embrace the mantle of change and hope, urging them to step forward and make a difference in their communities. He noted the importance of continuing Jackson's legacy in a time when many feel overwhelmed by the political climate and societal issues. The memorial service served as a final public tribute to Rev. Jesse Jackson, marking the impact he had on American politics and society. His influence remains a guiding force for those seeking to make positive change in the world. Employers in the United States cut 92,000 jobs in February, according to the latest government report. This marks a significant downturn in the job market. The unemployment rate also edged up to 4.4%, a slight increase from the previous month. This report, which revised downward job numbers for January and December, highlights a broader economic strain exacerbated by tensions with Iran. Chief economist Diane Swonk from KPMG notes that the healthcare sector saw major job losses, largely due to strikes in California and Hawaii. This is particularly concerning because healthcare has traditionally been a steady growth area. The construction industry also faced significant setbacks, contributing to the overall decline in job creation. The report underscores a pattern of economic instability, with employers hesitating to invest and hire amid heightened uncertainty. This trend has been exacerbated by escalating tariff policies and geopolitical tensions, effectively acting as a tax on the economy, according to Swonk. As a result, the labor market remains sluggish. This makes it difficult for new entrants to find employment and for existing workers to move to better opportunities. With the Federal Reserve scheduled to meet in 2 weeks, officials face a challenging scenario of high inflation and tepid job growth. The economic outlook suggests that while the economy continues to grow, the pace is far from robust. This raises concerns about long-term economic trends and consumer sentiment. The situation remains closely monitored as officials navigate these complex economic challenges.